So my name is Jamie Farndale. I'm the General Manager of Club Development and Sustainability at Hong Kong China Rugby. I was part of cohort 13 at Cambridge University in the Institute for Sustainability Leadership on the Masters programme there. Alongside it, I was still a professional rugby player at that time. I did finish the course, retired from playing rugby and now into the real world. Yeah, so my life has completely changed since finishing the course. So I was a professional rugby player for 13 years, and at the time of finishing the CISL course, I was just at the end of training for the Paris Olympics. So my life was training and then studying. Since then I've now retired from playing. I've moved to a different country, so I now live in Hong Kong. I'm now sat behind a desk, so just about everything has changed really, and the course has been a massive part of setting me up for that transition away from my playing career. So I was really interested in fandom and the way that sports fandom, sort of this huge, probably the biggest collective of individuals in society, how can that be used to spread ideas? And obviously getting to net zero, there is no sort of silver bullet, but how can we use these collectives within society to get the ideas that we've already got and sort of disseminate them, and how can sport be used within that process? So that's definitely stayed with me. I'm now working in sustainability within a rugby union. So, a big part of it has been putting sustainability strategies in place, and there's obviously the measuring and reporting and targeting, but that piece of how can we engage people and fans, it's definitely stayed with me. So, giving me the opportunity to get into a niche that I was interested in and that felt like it was pushing the needle or moving things forward has definitely equipped me, and still very much an area I'm trying to work on in my day to day. I think the sports industry has a larger role to play in that fandom area. I think there's a lot of I'm going to use sports terms here, but defensive sustainability in terms of how to run events better and how to minimise negative social impact or environmental impact. I think there's still a lot of progress there, and rightly so, a lot of focus there. But the future of the industry, I think the real value in the sports industry is going to be in that offensive sustainability, and how can we really engage fans and get that message across. CISL's had some great sort of papers recently on politics might change but the laws of nature don't, and how can we engage people in a different way. I think sport has such a great opportunity within stadiums when that sort of emotional effervescence is there, and your love of city, your love of place, your pride in where you're from. I think there's a lot that sport can do to capture those feelings in a really positive way, and moving towards that sustainability message, that resilience message, that long-term message. I think sport can be a really strong delivery mechanism for that message. Within sport, sustainability, the interest in sustainability is massively growing. Within rugby specifically, World Rugby have showed amazing leadership, and there's a very clear direction and plan coming from the top of the game. At the union level then, there's been less action, and coming out and joining Hong Kong China Rugby, it's been great to work on rugby's first sustainability action plan and to drive things forward within Hong Kong China Rugby. I'm hoping moving forward that other unions, because it's within the unions that a lot of this action will really have to come, really start driving things forward and catching up with other sports. I think it's just a massive area for the development of all sport, and rugby probably is lagging behind. So I hope that some of the stuff that I've learned on this course and some of the stuff that we've been able to work on at Hong Kong China Rugby hopefully not only impacts Hong Kong China Rugby, but also has an impact on rugby as a whole. Yeah, so I've had the privilege to be involved in a child fund and World Rugby project called Grassroots to Global this year. And what it did was looked at leadership capabilities within young female leaders within rugby. So I think there were over 30 countries in the end took part, but we each union. So I helped run the Hong Kong union sort of delivery, and we had 30 young female leaders come in, and we did some sort of leadership exercises and spoke about leadership stories and leadership journeys. And for me, just sat there taking it all in. It was massively inspiring. The future of rugby depends on the ideas that were being talked about, and having female representation at the very top of the game, and talking about governance structures, and just realizing that the people in the room had leadership roles and were leaders, and it was an amazing 2 days, and at the end of it, all the girls voted for a representative, and all the other countries that took part all voted for a representative as well. And they're all now, as I speak, actually on their way to the Women's World Cup, which is being held in England this year. And they're all going to bring their sort of regional inputs to a 5-day forum with World Rugby there, listening to all the inputs. So it was a great programme to be involved in. We're now looking at the next iteration, and ahead of the next Men's World Cup, what can be done, and there's definitely some of the CISL leadership framework that I think can be tied into using sport again on a global scale to talk about some of these leadership capabilities that we learned on the course that are going to be so vital to the future that we want. It's just a great, I suppose, example of this in practice, and how sport can be used to get this message out there, and really practically engage people and equip people for the future.